How you going, guys? So I've been doing a little bit of work on this PC case. I've actually filmed quite a bit over the last few weeks. So I've already edited a lot of it. But what I'm going to do, because it's been over such a long time, like I'm talking probably six or 8 weeks or more even now. I've been doing little bits and pieces on it. So I thought I'd just throw this piece right at the start of the intro. I'm going to go back through re-edit it once I've sort of done what I want to do today. So I'm trying to get all these last little bits tidied up. So I've sort of been doing little bits and pieces. I put mesh in the grill, and I've done some modifications to the piece where you mount the motherboard in, so I can put a graphics card in there because I've got a graphics card now. Try and have a speed up my video editing. And so I can upgrade my CPU so I can speed up my video editing at some point. All those sorts of things. I bought another power supply in my computer because the one I got, I didn't have the right cables, and the cables were bloody near as much to buy as getting a high-powered power supply. But I found that the mounting points, the holes line up, but the opening's not big enough for where the plug screws in, like it's in a slightly different place again. So yeah, I've got to open that up a little bit, which I've left my die grinder at the other workshop. So I want to do that. And I've been doing trying to get some other little things finished and sorted. So hopefully I can get them all done today. Because I sort of, it's another video that I want to get up and get it cleaned up and sort of out of my head, because I've been sitting on my computer for a long time, actually in the desktop, taking up a lot of space with all the footage. So I want to get that down on one of my other hard drives, so it's not on my main drive. And I'd like to test fit everything back in there to make sure the graphics card part fits properly. So I'm going to have a clean up in here because it's a bloody mess. There's tools and crap and shit everywhere. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get into this. But I'm not going to film me cleaning up because you've seen that 100 times. So yeah, I'm just going to try to have a straighten up, and then I'll get into this. So we'll see you. After this bit, we'll go right back to the start, and I'll re-edit it, and you'll see me today near the end. See you. Well, how you going, guys? So I'm just going to do a final few little bits and pieces on here. I've got a couple little bits and pieces I just want to do that. I'm probably just going to do a short video. I think I did a couple little bits and pieces on some videos the other night. I'll just have to double check the footage. But in those grill bars, I want to put some mesh in behind them. Hence, that stuff. Mainly just so when I give it away, if somebody happens to have little kids, or they happen to have little kids come around, they can't poke their fingers through and get their fingers in the fans because they're quite close. I can touch them with my little finger, and my hands are pretty big. So like I can imagine, like a little 3 or 4 year old, or even a bit bigger kid, if he pokes his hand in there, like the fan's probably not going to do any damage, but you never know, like they might get a fried or something like that. So like you're better off not having them to be able to put their fingers through there. So it's mainly what I can do, and it should be perfect size. If I cut that in 4, it should fit each double section almost perfectly. I think it's slightly long and it's slightly too wide. It's bloody near spot on for what I need. So we'll get the radiator up in the the grill shell up on here, and we'll get this out of the packet and have a look. Right, let's get this out of the packet. So it's just that perforated sort of mesh sort of stuff. If it's a bit shiny or it looks a bit funny in behind there with the rusty look, I might just missed a bit of orange paint on it. But I'll have a quick measure up just to make sure my measurements that I took before I bought this are right, and I'll need to split it in 4 bits. long enough. Depending on how flexible that is, it's actually long enough that I can actually put that in there in one piece. That's what I might do. Because I've got a little bit extra in the length. Yeah. I could bloody nearly get it in one length. If I have to split it, I have to split it. But it might be just as easy to do it in two pieces. Righty, so this is just sitting there, it's not pushed right in, but that doesn't look too bad actually. So yeah, it's just a matter of getting it attached in here. I just wonder, because I can pop this off, this piece. And I might better just put maybe a little screw or a like a little machine screw with a washer and a nut in behind, just to like in 3 or 4 places, and that'll pull that right back into there. And then I might just better put a few dollops of hot glue or something on the edge. Like I'm just because I haven't really got any out of the way. Like I don't, obviously it's aluminium, so it's not going to weld. I thought it might have been perforated like actual steel, like gauge steel, but I think it's alloy, just the way it cut. But yeah, like if I pop that piece off, because there's plenty of room in behind that, I can like put a couple or 3 screws in there with just little washers or something. What am I going to do? Because I can't. I was thinking maybe hot glue gun, but I can't bloody find it. But anyway, what I might do is take this back inside, set it back on, just make sure it fits on. Everything screws back on, like the cover actually screws back on the machine. Make sure I haven't got any clearance issues again or anything silly. It should be right, but just in case, just test fit it and just see how things go. And because what I was going to do was just put a few blobs of hot glue down there maybe just the odd one in like every second one of these, or every one, like the middle ones of these, just to help hold it down if it would hold, or maybe some urethane or something like that, but I haven't got anything like that here. I know Mum's got like hot glue guns and stuff, but God, Mum's got that much stuff inside, I have no clue where it is. I can probably ring her and ask her, which I might do tomorrow or something like that, but I'll take this inside and just see, make sure it still fits and see what it looks like, because the edge of the fan will actually hold it back anyway, and just see what it looks like on, and then I can, once I know everything fits right, and I'll work out how to find some way of holding it down, because if it was aluminium, I'd just, well not aluminium, steel, I'd just actually just, see if I could just tack weld it down, but yeah, it's just to find some way to actually hold it down. Look, cause you could probably put like some little nuts in here or something like that, and just put a couple washers or something, but you could tack weld a couple of nuts in there, but just hold it down like that, which is a possibility. But yeah, we'll see what happens, because that's probably all it needs. So I've got some mesh in here now. I might just spray a bit of orange, just splat it with a bit of orange in the spray paint like I did the patina, just to make it look a bit dirtier instead of black, but it doesn't look bad. How you going, guys? What am I doing today? Well, I'm going to try and have a little play with this mantque PC case again. I bought a graphics card a wee while ago. For you guys that don't know what a graphics card, Google it is. But anyway, I mainly bought it because in the near future I want to do some more upgrades to my computer, and I need a graphics card to upgrade it to make it faster for video editing. And I thought it was going to help me at the moment, but with the software I'm using for editing, it doesn't seem to make a piss all difference, which is a pain in the ass. I was hoping it was going to save me a heap of time just rendering, so I could watch the finished product earlier, so I can then, if I wanted to make changes, I can. But with HitFilm Express, or HitFilm, it doesn't seem to make a lot of difference. So I've downloaded a copy of DaVinci Resolve, the free version, and having a play with that, but I haven't quite got the grasp for it yet to actually do a render. I need to make up a small, I don't know, 5-minute clip or 10-minute clip and play with it a little bit, and just see what the difference is without the graphics card and with the graphics card, because I don't need a graphics card to have the screen running, if you know what I mean. Some computers you do, some you don't. And one of my upgrades, up the line, I will need the graphics card for the picture. I'll have no choice. But anyway, so I bought the graphics card and I tried to put it in here, and it will fit, but because I've never had one, I didn't understand a couple of things. So I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you. So we're right inside the computer here. I'm not quite sure what it is. Anyway, see these slots here? These things here. It's where the graphic card bolts into, and it hooks into the motherboard through one of the places it hooks into. Now, in this backboard, I need some little slots in here to let the little, these like little tabs on the back of the graphics card, which let it hook into the back of the motherboard tray for stability. I'll pull you back out of there. So yeah, I didn't know that when I was building this, because I've never had a graphics card in anything. This is my first, my first build was my first major sort of PC of sort of any description. Before that I was just using like laptops and stuff for the last few years. So I never really, this is my first sort of major build. So I need to do some modifications to that backboard. I would like to tidy up some wiring, maybe extend these two cables some more. I need to find some cabling just to make these a bit longer, so I can hide the wiring a bit easier. I might try and find something to cover this wiring too, so it's black or something like that, so it doesn't stand out so much. But I'm not too stressed in that, just as long as I can tidy it up and sort of hide it in behind here the best I can, so it's not so seen so easily. So that's sort of the main things. Also, I want that backboard that goes right on the back here. I still haven't bought any more gas for that blowtorch thing over there beside the on top of that old gas heater. I haven't bought any more butane gas for that or whatever it is, because I was going to burn this. I might just paint it with the green and red and orange paint and white paint and make it look a bit more like this. Try and make it look like that. Also, the power supply, because I bought an upgraded power supply, so I had my computer had a bit more power to draw from, if you want to say that. Because the plug was in a different place again, I can't screw that power supply in. So obviously they shift things around a bit, but these screw holes still line up, but this opening's not enough. So that's another thing I need to modify a little bit. What else do I need to do to it? Just, that's about it. And then obviously do the final clean up on this. I'll probably clean up these bits of wood, get that sprayed clear on the inside and outside. I might try and see if I can find some way to just anchor that mesh, because I've got that metal strip in there, which I'll flick a little bit of paint on it, and just so it's not so just shiny steel. I'll paint it. I'd like to try and anchor it like in the edges of the mesh, edge of the grill shell, but somehow I've sort of thought about it a couple of times, but I haven't really. I was talking to Arco there for quite a few weeks ago when I first done it. And I was sort of thinking about what I should do, but I just hadn't really got around to doing anything. So there's a few little bits and pieces I'd like to do to it. So whether I get it all done this weekend or not, I don't know. But I'm going to have a little play. First thing I want to do is get it so I can actually put the graphics card back in it. And put my computer back in it one more time. Main reason I want to get this done is because I'm now at 650 something subs. So I've just climbed over the 650 mark. I'm thinking 651 or something like that. So I'm getting closer and closer and closer to giving this thing away to somebody. I'll flip the camera back. So yeah, I'm getting closer and closer to giving this thing away. Once I roll over the 1,000, that's when this will happen. Just the case. Basically what you see here without the hard drives in it, and it all complete, ready to put your system in. So it will be only to somebody in New Zealand. If it's close enough, I'll deliver. Depending on how far away it is in the South Island, I'll probably try and deliver it. Take it Friday off or something like that, or Monday off and drive there and deliver it and then come home again, which would be a big ask, but depending on how far away it is, that'll happen. If it's in the North Island, we'll try and work something out to get it there. But yeah, so what I would probably do, once I break the 1,000 mark, I'll put a video up, just with another brief little description of how to do this. So what I'll do is I'll probably get everybody that's in New Zealand at the time, make sure they're sub to my channel. This is probably what I'll do, okay? Make sure they're sub to my channel, make sure they comment, tell me where they're from, whether they're in the North Island or South Island, and the area they're in. I don't need specifics, don't need, maybe the city or the town, but yeah, that's enough. I don't need to know addresses until such time. And probably an email address or something like that. So if they can comment, that sort of stuff. Where they're from, North Island, South Island, the town or area that they're in, and an email address. And I'll put that all in a hat, and we'll pick one out. But what I'll do is I'll leave the video up for a week, like 7 days, and after the 7th day I'll go back in and I'll, like maybe another week later, I'll go through all those people in that video at that time. I'll cut it off at a certain time. I'll go through. If you comment after that, bad luck. I'll go through, write them all down, or print them all out or whatever, and go through and put them in a hat, and then I'll do a video, and I'll pull one out, and we'll organise to get it to you. So yeah, but I'd prefer to also is that you are prepared to pull a system apart and put it in here. I don't want to give it to somebody and then they sell it. I'd like to know where it is, from because I'd like to be able to say to these people, 6 months down the line, how's that going? Or is it still, everything's still working all right? All those sorts of things. Because I'd like to know where my number one case is. Because maybe in years to come, I might buy back. But not really. But it'd be quite cool to know where it went. And I'm going to build more. This is my learning curve. The first couple will be my learning curve. Especially this one. This is the one that I figure out what sort of works and what doesn't work. After this, they will probably get better. There's things on here that I would do differently, but there's a lot of things that I like about it. It's cool. I love it. I think the grill shower is the way to go. They just look sick. I did think about doing mud guards and bits and pieces like that. Get 2 fenders or 2 mud guards off a car, especially 50s or something, with the crazy headlight buckets above each other or something like that. Mesh that into one at the bottom, one at the top, and build it into a case and build a shell inside it and everything. But I think this is way cooler. But I will try that. I will definitely try that. And where the headlights would be, I would probably put LEDs or something, and where the chrome trim would be, and then put intake fans in there, and then maybe blow a couple out the back or something like that. It would be more PC case-ish shape, not something completely off the wall. But there's 100 other things you could build a PC case in too. I just like this sort of stuff. It's quite cool. The technology's quite cool too, but I like the idea of it. If you had a real cool man cave or something like that you could set this in the corner and nobody would know what it was unless they had a decent look. You could have your computer screen there, or even your TV screen or whatever in your man cave, and you could go, somebody goes, we'll go in there and watch a game or some YouTube, or I'll show you this video, and you come up and hit the button on the top of that, and somebody goes, whoa, especially they've never seen it, they go, whoa, man, is that your computer? And you go, yeah, man, that's cool. So, this guy built it. It's sick. That's totally different, totally off the wall. That's what I like about it. It's completely different to anything else I've seen. I haven't seen anything like that anywhere. I guarantee once some people see this, they're gonna build some. It would be quite cool to actually get some recognition of some guys actually in the PC world, and I mean like up the food chain on YouTube. There's 2 or 3 channels that I'd love to be able to show them this and just say, what do you think of that? It's not the prettiest, it's the first build. When I got some more money, I'd like to build things cleaner and tidier and actually build some, have a bit more idea on where to hide wiring and stuff like that. As I get through them, I'll do that. But it'd be quite cool to show them and go, what do you think? I know some of it's not the tidiest, not the best, but it's cool, it's different. That's the thing I like about it, and I've put a lot of thought into it. I'm trying to make it easy to use. But yeah, I am waffling now, aren't I? I'm just friggin' waffling. Anyway, I'll pull this apart. it'll be. It's tacky now again. I think with a bit of clear, satin clear over top, that'll look okay. It's just got to look reasonable. I was sort of trying to go for that sort of look. It kind of looks like that. Because that was steel, it was more pulling the paint off. I could probably give it another wee dab with a bit of thinners on the rag now. It's had a bit more time to dry and just see if it lifts up a little bit. But I'm not too stressed as long as it looks reasonable. I'm just trying to make it mimic that. It's going to be in the back, so it's not really going to be seen. I just want to, at a quick glance, it looks half decent. So once that's dry, I'll flip it over and I'll do sort of the same thing to the other side as well. Because that side there will actually be facing in. I think that's the inward side. And then I'll do the same on the other side. So, but anyway, I'll let that dry for a little bit now, and then I'll turn it over and I'll piss around with the other side of it. Right, I'm back. I've had enough of a clean up in the meantime. So first things, I just want to give a quick wee shout out to Danny at DG Retro Customs over there in the UK, England, somewhere. I'm not 100% sure where he is, but I see he's just watched the video like seconds before I turned the camera on. I see he's got himself a new unit workshop, but he obviously needs some support to help keep going until, like a few of us, we're just trying to keep our head above the water until we can, sort of get things going a bit. I'm a bit the same at the moment, so if you do want to go jump on that Teespring store and buy some merch or whatever, and same with Danny. He's also got a Patreon. I'm thinking about setting one up, but until I sort of get myself a bit ahead in some videos and bits and pieces, which I'm trying to do, especially now that I'm able to try and video just about every day. I want to try and maybe start up a Patreon as well, and just have it probably only a couple, $3 or $4 here and there, just depending on what level you want to be at. But obviously I need to get some other content set up to have for that Patreon as well. So I'm working on that. But yeah, if you can help support us anyway financially, especially I'd like to say freaking hats, but man, I don't know why Teespring doesn't have hats, or they don't have it available to me. It's a pain in the butt. I'd desperately like to have some stitched hats with NZ Mopar on it or something like that, but or beanies, like this sort of thing. I love this sort of style beanie. I'm not so much a fan of the ones you fold up, but I like this sort of style. And just get my logo printed on it, like sort of like that sort of thing. Like this is Highlands Park Motorsport here in New Zealand. Awesome place to go. Got a wicked sort of like museum of old racing car stuff, but not far away from me. But anyway, yeah, so if you can, go support us on Teespring and stuff like that. If you can afford to buy a shirt or a hoodie or whatever, do it, because it will just help us along. Especially, for some of us that haven't broke that sort of 1,000 subs mark yet, it would make a big difference. We might be able to get some slightly better camera gear and all that sort of stuff, so we can make better content. Because I'd love to get away from a phone. I at the moment, I wouldn't mind buying a couple of GoPros, but I just can't afford to do it. But hopefully shortly that I might be able to, because things are starting to improve my financial situation, but slowly. But anyway, I'm going to get into this and get the last of these things done. I want to strip this down a bit so I can get in and modify this opening for the power supply. So I'm just going to take this stuff off so I can take these fans and bits and pieces off of the road. Unfortunately, I haven't got my other drill here with the fitting for this, so just a socket a ratchet utility gun. Anyway, I let that dry. Unfortunately, you didn't see me paint it because it was out of shot. I didn't think it was, but I sort of looked over and then I realised, oh no, he's pointing up the bloody ear. But that'll do. That's open right up now. And hopefully it should be right. If I have to do any more adjustments, I have to do some adjustments, but I think it should be okay now. But well, what I'll do is I'll get a bit of a mist of different textures on this other piece and this, and then I'll at some point start putting it back together once it's had enough time to dry. And I really need to put a clear coat on that and a couple of little alterations on that too, but so I'll do that once I've missed a bit of crap on here. Right, one of the first things I want to do to this part is there's a few of these screws I've cut down, but some of them are still too long. So I'll do that as I push that front trim off. So I'll screw all these out. Right, I'll give that a few minutes to dry off there, and then I'll do the other side. I need to finish sanding the insides of these. I want to do that and give the rest of the general clean up so I can clear coat everything. I'm just getting this prep to clear coat. Basically give a blowout. The other thing I'm going to do is take the button out. Put a wee bit of tape around it. Put a bit of tape around there so I don't get clear on there. And I'll just do something similar when I paint the outside. Done. So let's leave it right now, put it all back together. I might have to buy another can of clear, but sure, right. It's done. I'll let it all dry and then I'll put it back together later. Right, how you going, guys? So I've finally got this all back together tonight. After doing all the last little bits and pieces, it's about 9 o'clock at night. But I've finally got it all back together. I haven't fired it up and tested it. I still haven't lengthened. I've got 2 cables here I really need to lengthen, just so I can tuck the wiring up and behind the middle frame, if you know what I mean, like tuck it, like poke it all in behind and run it up the back, so at least it's not quite so visible. And that's probably about the only thing I really need to do, but I can do that at some point. The big thing I really want to do is just get a lot of these other things tidied up. So I've got this graphics card in here now. That fits. May need to, depending on somebody's motherboard and depending what slot they have it. They would normally have it in that top one anyway, depending, unless they were running 2 of them, which is not very common nowadays, but you can still do it depending on the system. Like a brand new modern system, it's only like 1 or 2 cards that can do it, run together, but not normally. But yeah, so it may have to jiggle with these slots a little bit if somebody did put extra ones in there, because I had to play with this a few times to try and just get it so it would sit right in. But apart from that, it's pretty good. Alright, I'll drag this inside and plug it all in before I put the back on and the cover on, and just fire it up and make sure everything is working properly. There you go, guys. So it's done. I've been back through and modded everything that I really needed to mod and change and just tweak. So I've now got a graphics card in it to make sure that if somebody gets it, or the person who wins it when I've gone over 1,000 subs, a graphics card will fit in. I modified that opening for the power supply, so it shouldn't have any problems with that when somebody puts their power supply in. And it's all been sat and clear coated. all those sorts of things. So yeah, it's ready to give away when somebody when I click over that 1,000 subs to somebody in New Zealand. Unfortunately, I just can't afford to ship it anywhere. The costs of it to ship to America or Australia or Canada or somewhere like that, or the UK, would just be astronomical, especially at the moment with this COVID and the shipping being held up and lots of stuff. Like they're paying 3 or 4 times as much for shipping for big distance stuff and heavy stuff, so it would be out of the question. But yeah, you don't get the computer inside it, but you get the case and all the fans and the fan controller and lots of stuff. Obviously that's my computer in there, and I'm using it to test it to make sure that there is no more issues. Well, it's not that there was any issues, but I just couldn't fit the graphics card in there because I had to do some modifications to make it fit properly to the motherboard. I hadn't had those I didn't understand a couple of those things, but I've been done that now and worked that out. So yeah, that's it. She's done, finished. Looks awesome. When I break the 1,000, I'm going to do a full stripped down video on, just go over things and just show people how this set works and set up, with the likes of hard drives and a few basic things like that, just to show people how it does work. So the people in New Zealand, if they're keen and they want to go into the competition, they're subscribed and lots of stuff, know how it works. Alright guys, we'll catch you later on. Cheers.